Alright, so welcome to my kitchen, and it's an exciting day as we actually have some new shoes here. These are the Nike Vomero 5s, and no, that's not 15, that's actually a 5. Now this shoe came out in 2010 as a running shoe, true to the Vomero line. Now it's 2024 and this has been reissued as a lifestyle shoe. So as you know, running shoe tech has really evolved a lot the past few years. We have plates now, we have P-backs foams, we have super light uppers, and yeah, I thought it would be interesting to have a bit of a look at what people were running in way before I even started running, which was only in 2016. But I have to say, and let's grab the scale here, excitement is dampened a bit when you put this on the scale, as it's actually 308 grams, making this the single most heaviest shoe that I've ever owned. Yeah. Looking at this shoe, it's not hard to see where the weight is coming from here. I mean, just check out this upper. There are these sort of fake leather overlays all over the shoe here, plus this plastic heel cup back here. I mean, just looking at this from today's perspective, it really seems so obvious that this is way overbuilt and has way more elements to it than you actually need. And look at this outsole. This is like a trail outsole. I mean, just look at how deep this rubber goes. So you can sort of see why this is such a heavy shoe. But yeah, I guess we were just not really all that focused on weight back in the day. This is Kushlan. I guess as there's a bit of a discussion online on whether these reissued kind of old running shoes actually have the same materials as they did in the past. And to be honest, just sort of squishing my finger into this, it actually feels reasonably soft-ish. There's nothing really that would make me think that this is not actually Kushlan. And yeah, I think we've seen enough now, and let's take these for a run. Well, it's firm, but it's not an awful shoe to run in, actually. Yeah, it's kind of heavy and you don't have very much bounce or response to it, but I kinda like just how sort of flexible this is. Just feels pretty natural to run in, and it's actually kind of refreshing when you've been in these high stack, very squishy modern shoes for a while. It's actually kind of nice because you feel like your foot is really doing some work here. Yes, this shoe is heavy and you can really feel it underfoot, but this midsole is really nice, and I feel like if they remade this shoe with modern materials and a much thinner upper and outsole, that could be a real winner. But this shoe nowadays wouldn't sell well, I think. Even the Pegasus is approaching, what, 35 millimeters or something. And there's just, in today's market, no real place for these kind of low stack firmish shoes. It's early September now and it's still going up to over 30 degrees today, but it's just this sort of very dry kind of late summer heat. It is so nice today. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful out here today. It's actually super windy now. I hope you can still hear me in this wind. I might want to get back sooner rather than later, as I think we might have a thunderstorm coming up. So yes, it is kind of firm, but it's not like harsh underfoot. There is actually a reasonable bit of cushioning here. It's just quite a bit lower stacked than what we're used to nowadays. This upper is very spacious. It's almost like this is a half size too big for me. And I don't know if I did anything wrong there, as I got my usual running shoe size of a EU 40. Now there's no heel slip, but I do feel, I mean, I'm going slightly downhill here. I do feel like I'm sort of sliding around a bit in this thing. If you're wearing this as a casual shoe, I think it doesn't really matter. But as an actual running shoe, in hindsight, I would have gone at least a half size down on this thing. Yeah, isn't it just sort of funny how perception has changed over time? I did read some reviews on this shoe back when it came out in 2010, which is 14 years ago now. And this actually used to be considered a very heavily cushioned shoe. And nowadays this is, well, I honestly can't think of too many non-plated shoes that are firmer than this one. So it's just kind of amusing what happened in the span of only 14 years. So I did actually turn up the pace a bit just now, just sort of going to moderate kind of effort. Now one thing I haven't mentioned yet is this shoe actually has a Zoom airbag, same kind of setup as the Pegasus or the Vomeros of the past until they switched it to Zoom X foam. And you do kind of feel it in a way. It's just this sort of extra bit of resistance in the forefoot, which I quite like, as it just gives you this ever so slight bit of bounce to the shoe. Yeah, this shoe is heavy and there's just no way around it. It's above 300 grams for me. My second heaviest shoe is the Nimbus 26 from Asics, which I kind of dislike quite a bit. But the interesting thing is that it actually feels more nimble and agile underfoot than the Nimbus. And even though I do wish this was a good 50 grams lighter, it sort of goes to show that weight, or just numbers in general, isn't always everything, and what really counts at the end of the day is how a shoe feels underfoot. Yeah, so that's 60 minutes of running done in a supposedly lifestyle shoe, and you can see that I'm still alive. The question I've sort of been avoiding a bit is how does this stack up in Nike's 2024 daily trainer range? And the honest answer is it doesn't. The Pegasus 41 does a lot of what this shoe does at a much lighter weight and quite a bit cheaper as well, as that shoe is already discounted everywhere. So would I recommend buying the Vomero 5 for running? Not really. I mean, kind of sad, but you do sort of have to admit that technology has advanced in the past 14 years. But yeah, I'm actually really happy how this experiment turned out, and I hope I could prove to you that we don't always need these high stack, super squishy foam shoes that we have nowadays, and you can actually run in shoes that are a bit more minimal. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. And I'll see you on the next video then. Bye bye.
Descente du côté droit dans le sens de la marche.